Good afternoon. My name is Wanda Mitchell, and here is my Interpersonal Communication Project 2015, HSCO 508, Liberty University. As I move along doing this PowerPoint, I will hit slide so that you know I am moving to the next slide. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. I am the mother of a 14-year-old, Courtney Mitchell, who keeps me very busy. She's very active, and she's an A student, which is wonderful. And I am seeking a graduate degree from Liberty University, a Master of Science in Human Services. I received my undergraduate degree from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro in May of 2014 in the concentration of Human Services, Public Health. Slide. What is interpersonal communication? According to Stewart, interpersonal communication is a subset of communication in general. This means that it is a collaboration of choices, culture, identities, and conversation. And nexting are all parts of interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication is the counterpart of impersonal communication. Communication is a continuous, complex, collaborative process of verbal and nonverbal meaning making. Next slide. We read from 4 different books here in this class, and the books that we read were very informational and also very informative on our listening skills. So the first one I like to mention is the listening skill by Madeline Burnley Allen, Listening, the Forgotten Skill. Then Bridges, Not Walls, which was by Jon Stewart. Also, How to Solve the People Puzzle and Why Don't We Listen Better by Peterson. We also did a self-assessment as well as the Uniquely You. And I fell in the category of about an 86. I'm an extrovert. And I love dealing with people, and that's what I tend to do now. I'm more passionate, and I have a compassion spirit for others. And so I believe that this is what God has my purpose in life as to work with other people. But I just need to learn how to listen better. My overarching goal: listen without forming opinions right away. Don't try to fix the problem all the time. Just give a listening ear. I think sometimes that's what people want. They don't want you to solve the problem. They just want you to listen. Give my undivided attention and turn off distractions. Stay open-minded while listening and give an empathetic ear to listening. This is my overarching goal. Who are you? My behavioral blend had a tendency to tell me exactly who I was. And I'm glad. I always knew that I was an extrovert. I had no problem with that. So what it says that I am a DI. So I'm dominant as well as inspiring. Next slide. So this is what is expected of me if I'm a DI. I'm determined. I'm dynamic. I'm optimistic. I'm a visionary. But most of all, I am a motivational speaker. I enjoy giving motivation to others, motivating others. I do enjoy that. The I part of me is inspiring. It's considered as a leader. It's an influencer. It's most of all a negotiator because I do not like conflict. And I'm a helper. And I believe that I do have helping hands. Yes, so I would say those are good things, or qualities about me. So, next slide. Talk to me. Now, I have many people who talk to me, but my thing is, am I listening effectively? So this class has given me some insight onto whether or not if I'm listening effectively. Talk to me. Can you hear me now? Enlarging your conversation. Enlarging the conversation involves empathetic listening. It also involves nonverbal communication and self-disclosure. It is a way in which we live our daily lives in a genuine, authentic state, and it also means that people live both in and through by using their perceptions and observing other people's action. Enlarging the conversation. Sometimes we need to enlarge the conversation so that we'll get a better meaning and understanding, and no one walks away with a misunderstanding. How many times a day do we have misunderstandings, or we're trying to be understood instead of just trying to understand? Good point. Next slide. My background. I am a family-oriented person. I come from a line of ministers. My dad is senior pastor of a church in Greensboro, North Carolina, Cedar Grove, Tabernacle of Praise. My mom, she's probably one of the introverts in the family. Most of us are extroverts, but she's an introvert. And she does talk when she has to talk. But most of the time, you have to initiate the conversation. Now, my little Courtney is a very introverted, but sometimes extroverted person. And she doesn't like to get out in front of people and talk. But if you give her something to do, she will at least go up and do her part, and you would not have an indication that she's very shy. But we are all teachers, we're all leaders, we are life coaches, we are visionaries, and we do like helping other people. So that's somewhat more of my family background. I've always been taught to help those in need as well as those who just are asking for help. Okay, cool. Next slide. Influence conversation. So on a positive note, as I stated, I'm a task and people-oriented person. I'm patient to a certain degree, okay? And then I'm open-minded, and I try to be non-judgmental. In most cases I do, because it's only by the grace of God there could go I. So I try not to be judgmental. And I am a good negotiator because, as I stated earlier, I do not like conflict. Not at all. So I will try to negotiate. But now there's a side of me that I saw that I wasn't too happy about. But I can be the faker. Not a good listener at times. Insensitive at times, because I'll go ahead and just get straight to the point. But it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I'm learning that as well. And I should know that by now. The interrupter, but most of all, the problem solver. Next slide. Communication barriers. We do have the physical barrier. Oh, there's always a certain time of the day to make a conversation with me. Because after a certain time, I start, especially after lunch. And if I've eaten, I lose focus very easy. Because the stomach, I start to kind of feel sleepy. And I don't like that. So, And then the somatic barrier. The meanings are in people and not words. Okay. And then the green flag words, which reflects emotional responses. Hearing what you want to hear, and most of all, biased listening, already prejudging what they're saying. So those are some of the barriers that we need to be careful and watch when trying to make conversation. Next slide. And then we have those noises that's all around us. You got your phone beeping. You got the phone ringing. Oh gosh, you got an email coming in. Oh gee, we just have so many distractions that it can conflict our communication. So we have the internal noises, which those things that are going on in our heads while someone is talking. And then we have those external noises that's going on all around us. Say the heat or the air conditioner is coming on. Distractions from others talking, loud noises, things going on outside all around us. Someone's bumping the horn or beeping the horn. The speaker's not talking loudly enough. So there's so many external noises that is going on around us, as well as internal, because if we have something going on within us, we're not hearing what that other person is saying, especially if we have a crisis going on and someone's trying to hold a conversation. I'm not focusing on what they're saying. I'm focusing on the crisis I got going on and how to solve it. Next slide. How to deal with barriers. Pick a certain time of the day to have an energized conversation, or when I'm more energized. The most time for me is in the mornings. I'm having a cup of coffee. Eye-to-eye contact will help eliminate some of those barriers. My body language will help eliminate. Turn off my phone while I'm having a conversation with someone, so that I can focus on what they're saying instead of looking at my phone, or when my phone beeps, wanting to know where is that beep coming from, or who's sending me a text or something of that sort. So those are some of the things that I can how I can eliminate some of the barriers that I have found in my interaction with others. Next slide. Better quality information. According to Bernie Allen, level 1 listening can promote better quality information. When you are listening effectively, you have a better chance of being in charge of a situation and influence the outcome. Good point. Next slide. The importance of listening. Listening is generally defined as a conscious cognitive effort involving primarily the senses of hearing and leading to interpretation and understanding. The starting place for effective communication is effective listening. Effective communication effective listening. Works hand in hand. Next slide. Action plan implemented. Hear more words from the speaker. Hear more than what the speaker is saying. I guess that's a good way of putting it. Make meaningful notes. Will help be an effective listener. Work at listening. Oh yeah, gotta work at it. All the time. Resist external distractions. Keep an open mind and ask questions. That's a good idea as well. Capitalize on my thoughts and hold my rebuttals until they have finished everything they've said. And sometimes think before I speak. That's a good way of implementing an action plan. My action plan used in my career choice. I will listen without agreeing, disagreeing, advising, or defending. That's a good one. To provide safety as the person is speaking, making sure that it's a safe environment for them to say what they need to say. To understand, I need to understand rather than to be understood. That's a good one as well. I will utilize what the epistle in the book of James states. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. It says everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. That is James 1:19 in the New International Version. Here are my references. I thank you for listening to my listening, as well as watching my interpersonal project for 2015 Liberty University. Thank you.